Today we're driving the 2022 Subaru WRX GT. This has what is a philosophical red flag for many enthusiasts. It has a continuously variable transmission. Subaru affectionately calls it the Subaru Performance Transmission, but it's just a CVT. We just drove the WRX Premium with a fantastic 6-speed manual. Today we're going to find out how the CVT is on the road, what it's been like to live with this week. Is it worth the almost $43,000 sticker price? Not cheap. Lots of extra amenities and comforts and features in this WRX GT. We have Recaro seats, red stitching, some Alcantara on the dash, Subaru Eyesight. Let's walk you around this real quick. We'll show you what it looks like inside and out, and then we'll take it for a drive. This WRX is painted in ignition red, which I guess looks pretty good on this car. I'm surprised. I always thought some of these lighter colors look a bit strange with the black plastic cladding, but I quite like this. We also have some different wheels in this GT trim, a little bit lighter than the standard WRX wheels. I think they look pretty good as well. Same Dunlop SP Performance Summer tires. We have adaptive headlamps that turn with your steering wheel. Those are very nice, pretty bright at night. I really like this rear character line that kind of plays into that tail light. Decent amount of trunk space, no spare tire, but there is room for one in there if you wanted to fit it with a previous generation WRX spare kit. Back seats, a little bit nicer materials back here. You can easily fold down the seats with these knobs. I like this Alcantara. We still get blank switches back here for what I assume would normally be heated rear seats in this WRX GT. This interior is definitely an improvement over the WRX Premium that we drove a couple weeks ago. It would be nice to be able to get this with a manual. Under the hood, we have Subaru's 2.4-liter Boxer 4-cylinder. It makes 271 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque, and this one has made it to the continuously variable transmission. It's strengthened, retuned. It's actually not a bad CVT to drive. It just, I think, doesn't quite belong in a WRX. I don't know. What do you guys think? I've had the CVT and the WRX for a few years now. Let's hop in, we'll show you around the front seat, and we'll give this transmission a chance in this review. These Recaro seats, though, I don't know what to think about them. They look really nice. They're very hard. They're not very comfortable. I don't have lumbar adjustment. They're very tight. I'm not a big dude. I'm about 5'10", 145, 150 pounds on a good day, and I feel a little bit cramped in them. So not really worth the extra money, in my opinion, for the Recaros. They look cool, and that's about it. We have the raised center console here with the CVT. In the manual, this is a little bit lower. Probably this is to make room for that larger transmission. This WRX GT is also about 200 pounds heavier than the Premium that we drove a couple weeks ago. A little over 3,500 pounds here. All right, let's not waste any more time. We'll take this CVT WRX for a drive. We have a very misty morning today, so we're going to be a little bit more careful on this review. There are a number of different drive modes in this WRX GT with the CVT. Let's count. You can control them on the steering wheel right here with a mode button. We get Sport Plus, Individual, Comfort, Normal, and Sport. And you can see what they do, how they change different parameters in the car right here. That's pretty cool. I like my individual mode set to Sport Power, Comfort Steering, Comfort Suspension, Sport All-Wheel Drive, Eyesight in Dynamic, and Climate Control in Mild. Let's start off though in normal mode, and we'll just ramp it up from there. At low speeds in normal mode, this feels like a traditional CVT. It revs up to about 2,000 RPM or so. This is a dronier exhaust below 2,000 RPM, and one of the complaints that I do have with the CVT is that it generally keeps the revs under 2 grand, and it's just kind of droning away all the time. That's not the case in sport mode. It keeps the revs just a little bit higher, and it will make fake shifts between gears that don't really exist, but let's show you guys what that sounds like right here. All right, Sport Plus mode. Oh, this also has adaptive suspension, which is fantastic. It's really, really good. Again, it'd be fantastic if we could get that with a manual car. A little greasy out today. We'll be careful. Alright guys, I hate to admit it, but this CVT is actually really good. It's probably the best CVT that I've driven from Subaru in recent years. Like the 6-speed manual, Subaru's finally figured out how to make this powertrain work together in harmony. Cruising on the highway, sitting a little over 2,000 RPM. I love the adaptive suspension. It's super comfy in comfort mode, and in sport mode it stiffens up nicely. It just kind of ramps up, and it's never too stiff in sport mode. It's never too soft and floaty in comfort mode. It's just a perfect balance. Is it worth $43,000 though? It's not as quick as the manual WRX by any means. There's quite a bit of powertrain loss with the CVT and another couple 100 pounds of extra weight. This has definitely been tuned to feel exactly like, or as close as possible, to a normal torque converter automatic. Let's go back into sport mode. We do have a manual mode, again, for all the manual shifting fun you could ever desire. No more physical handbrake. We just get this parking brake button down here. That takes a bit of the fun away from the WRX, in my opinion. Half the enjoyment from this car is doing handbrake turns in the winter, and you're missing out on a long-standing tradition right there. Handling is really sharp, feels about the same as the WRX Premium manual we had a couple weeks ago. And this is still no slouch. It's not slow, it's just not as fast. Subaru Eyesight works about like it does in any other Subaru product. Steering is reasonably good on the highway, keeping you well centered between the lines. It's actually working impressively well today in this inclement weather. It'll beep every time a car comes in front of you. That's just to kind of let you know that the system is active, you're following a vehicle. When that vehicle gets lost in the fog, it'll beep again. I think there's a way to turn that off in the settings. It does get a little bit annoying in regular traffic scenarios. We'll prompt you to put your hands on the steering wheel, but overall the Subaru Eyesight system isn't bad. There's just lots of beeping, and to me that gets a bit annoying. Still a little bit loud in here at speed. Some of our NVH haven't really reduced that with this GT model. I like how you can quickly enable, disable, steering assist, all that stuff in this WRX. There are 8 stepped gears in this WRX CVT. I do like the steering in this new WRX. This dual pinion rack is so accurate. Has a pretty good feel too. Brakes feel about the same as they did in the premium. Really, for an extra 10 grand, I don't know, guys. I don't think the value is here. You do get a much nicer WRX interior. This doesn't feel like a bargain basement econo car anymore. And if you want an automatic, this is actually, it drives great. It really, I'm not gonna lie, it's for a CVT, for a Subaru, it's really, really good. I've driven Subaru CVTs that completely mess up the throttle, tip in point, the response is all wonky, the tuning is off. This is actually really good. Subaru got it all right here. I just don't know if I can stomach the idea of having a CVT in a WRX. I feel like if you want an automatic with this engine and this type of car, you should probably just go for an Outback Wilderness or something. Get some more cargo space, get some more practicality, be able to go off-road with it. Yeah, I don't know. We're in normal mode right now. Pretty quick off the line. No throttle lag. Sometimes CVTs can be really sluggish until they kind of rev up and get up to speed. No problems with that here. Nice downshifts under heavy braking. Some of the fake shifts can be a bit abrupt, but I guess it kind of adds to the dynamic driving experience. It'll double downshift. Look at that. Does have a transmission cooler, so that's promising. Heat is one of the things that kills these CVTs, unfortunately. Everything smooths out a little bit in sport mode. For the money, I'd like to see a higher performance braking system out of this WRX. Maybe a set of Brembos up front. Probably something we'll see in a future model or trim. I'm hoping that Subaru brings the suspension, maybe some other features, some interior amenities to the manual. I know they can't do Eyesight with the manual transmission. That's fine. I haven't noticed any major hiccups with this transmission this week. It seems to be pretty smooth. Its delivery is relatively consistent. I think it would be a little bit less reliable than the manual transmission. Subaru hasn't had the best track record with their CVTs. They're okay if you maintain them, but they do tend to have some issues. So there's something to think about there. It's heavier, it's more expensive. Fuel economy is at around 19 miles to the gallon in the city, 25 on the highway. To sum things up, and to be fair, if you absolutely can't get a manual transmission, you won't have it. this CVT is actually pretty good. Is it a replacement for the manual? No. Should you get the manual instead? If you can drive manual and if you want that enthusiast driving experience, 100% yes, buy the manual. The features here in this GT aren't worth the price premium over what you don't get in the manual car. You're missing out on a lot of the driving experience here. And this is a pretty expensive WRX. It's getting into what STI territory used to be. But I'm sure there's a market for it somewhere. There are a few people out here who will want these. And as a package, I do really love this new Subaru WRX. They knocked it out of the park here. Looks are a bit controversial, but I don't mind them. I've gotten used to them. And this car just drives so well that I still think it's one of the best options on the market for enthusiasts these days. If you want all-wheel drive, you need that all-weather capability, it's one of the best options out there. The GR Corollas are really hard to get. These WRXs, they're only a couple months out for orders right now. You can find some on dealer lots. Subaru doesn't do as much marking up as other manufacturers at their dealers. There's a lot of things to like about this WRX. I would just recommend the 6-speed manual. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.